Not even a real redhead. You don't stand a chance. Oh, hey, there we are. Hey, everybody, we're live. Hi, welcome to the Artistic Biker Live on Thursday nights where we art with our besties. Hey, tonight on Thursday nights, we just kind of paint. We just kind of do whatever I feel like doing. And we chat with my mom, and we chat with the art besties in the chat room, and we just kind of generally have a good time. Tonight, I've been making some coloring sheets, and one of the coloring sheets I made was a sea turtle, and I thought I would take that sea turtle and put it onto some watercolor paper and watercolor it. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. So let's just turn the page and get started. Woohoo! So I'm gonna start with taping up my paper. I hope everybody has had a fantastic week and a fantastic day. I got to tell you, it is such a thrill to be here tonight because this is my favorite night of the week when I get to art with my besties. This is zero stress for me. This is 100% fun for me. I get to chat with my mom. I get to chat with my friends. I get to play with my art supplies. I get to make a mess. I get to drink rum in my coffee. What? Don't tell anybody. I'm not supposed to. I'm on a diet. Don't tell the fat, please. I saw that. She said she wasn't going to be able to color. She said she was cooking dinner and she burned both of her thumbs. Not just one, but both of her thumbs. I told her she needed to tape her colors to her fingers and color like Edward colored pencil hands. Instead of Edward scissor hands, she could be Edward colored pencil hands. I'll be right back. She already does that Wolverine thing where she tucks all the pencils between her fingers like this, where she's like, "Have at you, I'll art you." She already does that. She already Wolverines her paintbrushes. Now she can Edward colored pencil hands herself. Ivy has a kitten update. Ivy takes care of some feral cats, and one of the feral cats had kittens in her trailer and then skedaddled. And we haven't seen hide nor hair of her kittens for a couple of weeks now. Ivy says she has a kitten update. It's about time. We were worried. All right, let's see. The next thing we want to do is we want some transfer paper. And I'm going to go with blue because it's an underwater scene. This is water soluble transfer paper. If you're old enough to remember the old carbon paper, because I know a lot of you are young, you just make a mark on one side of it and it makes a mark on the other side. And so basically all we do is we tape the carbon paper down so that it doesn't move underneath our drawing, and then we tape the drawing down above it so that it doesn't move around on the carbon paper, and then we just trace the picture, and that transfers the lines from the picture to the watercolor paper. And like I said, you just want to make sure you tape it in place. It's not rocket surgery. It doesn't matter if it's just a little crooked. You can spend all your time lining it up if you want to. We're not going to do that. We're just going to tape it down. Anyway, it's some pretty cool stuff. If you can find some, it's fairly inexpensive. And I bought this, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago, and I'm still using it. And I I haven't even thrown a single sheet away yet. A single sheet away yet. So it's not like it gets used up.
Joe's here.
Hey, Joe. Now I'm going to be singing Jimi Hendrix in my head for the next 20 minutes. Hey, Joe. I bet you've never heard that before in your life, huh, Joe?
There's Leopold Scotch Butters.
Hey, Leopold Scotch Butters. We have a guy at work whose name is Joe. And every time somebody says, hey, Joe, one of us will start singing. One of us will start singing, hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? We have another guy out in the shop. His name is Marco. And every time somebody says Marco, somebody will say Polo. Dun, dun, dun. I'm not going to worry too much about the details here. I'm just going to kind of sketch in that there are details there so that they show up in the transfer. Use the smaller end. I should be using the smaller end for that. Because he's got some modeling coloration. And hopefully these, like I said, this transfer paper is water soluble. So as I start watercoloring, it will go away. Yeah, you could use it on your quilts, and then when you're done, you wash your quilt, and it washes away.
Yeah, and I'm starting on this foundation paper piecing, and I ordered me some paper today. But I should have just stole yours.
Stole mine. Look.
Yeah, but it's not. I can't steal when one of your kids is home. It's just not cool.
No, because they rat you out.
Yeah.
You should see when I try to take
their. Loyalty there.
You should see when I try to take their mother's art supplies.
Yeah, especially that girl.
Don't take mommy's art supplies. You quit stealing mommy's stuff.
That's right. But you know what I have in my garage?
What's that?
I have a box of the girls' art supplies.
Oh, yeah.
So I could use it as leverage, maybe.
Maybe. Can't talk arting. I'm not even really arting. I'm just trying to kind of follow the lines. I don't care if it's exact, but I want it close enough to know that it's a turtle and which way he's swimming. Kind of like these little fish down here. I don't need it exactly. I don't need every little scale because honestly, I'm not going to put this much detail on them at all. I just need to know that there are fish there. Right? And then some bubbles.
Essence of fish.
Essence of fish. That's exactly right.
You see where I think some of her kittens have come back?
I saw that she had an update, but I didn't see the update. Is that what she said?
Yes. Yeah. Let me see what she said. Yeah. Rockstar, the black cat, brought two of the babies home. They're about between 3 and 4 weeks old, and now they're beneath her bed.
Nice.
And then Mrs. Gray hasn't shown me hers, but probably be soon.
So You're literally only days away from having new kittens knock your art supplies off your table. She'll be streaming. She'll be streaming live, and all of a sudden, some enemy combatant will jump up on her table and scatter her art supplies. Or in the middle of the night, doing a random act of terrorism, they will jump out and scatter her art supplies. And she forgets. It's funny because she forgets that they do that. And so she gets complacent and she leaves her art supplies out.
Joe says paw prints on all her artwork.
Right? At least they just scatter your art supplies. The kids around here steal mine. Let me get this anemone. It's a sea anemone.
Your kids scouting tonight?
It doesn't sound like it. Right now, they have snuck off to the store for some reason. I have a driver now.
Yeah. Yes.
But she has taken my credit card and snuck off to the store.
Uh-oh.
It's not really a credit card. Credit cards are the devil. But she has my bank card and has wandered off to the store. With her brother. So it doesn't sound like they intend to go scouting tonight.
Nope.
Yeah, again, I don't have to be exact. The idea is that we get essence of stuff here, and this is more whimsical than painterly. We'll try to keep it painterly when we start painting, but the rendering itself is quite whimsical. Sometimes it's difficult to make palm trees look like palm trees and not little marijuana leaves. All right, and the birds. I think I may just draw little M's in the sky while I'm at it. Just because I can. All right. Let's see how that did. One piece of tape. Two pieces. Man, it looked all day long like the sky was just going to open up. And so I didn't, there was like an 80% chance of rain. So I didn't ride the motorcycle. And it turns out it would have been the perfect weather for riding the motorcycle today. The overcast kept it cool. There was very little traffic. Since it didn't rain, there wasn't an accident on Katy Freeway to tie up traffic on the side roads.
Where was the traffic today?
It was not bad at all. I made it home in I would have made it home in 30 minutes if it hadn't been for the light being out there right here around the corner from my house.
They don't know how to do that. four-way stump.
Well, it's not that. It's they're doing construction there, and the lines, everything goes down to one lane, and the lights are out. Hey, you know what? My paper was upside down. Yeah, look. Yeah, look. My transfer paper was upside down. So anyway, anybody who missed that the first time, we're gonna do it again real quick. It's a good thing I never make mistakes on live television.
That's exactly right.
I never make mistakes. It was a learning. It was a learning opportunity. It was a teaching moment. It was a teaching moment. That's what it was. He said, he says, oops. All right, but I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to speed this up. We're just going to go. Because I can still kind of see what happened here. Quit laughing. It's not funny. Well, okay, so it is funny. It is a little funny, right? I mean, we spent a lot of time making it just right.
We did.
I think you'll be amazed at how well it turns out anyway.
Oh, it's humorous how you're getting there.
Yeah.
I think she says she never does stupid stuff live. No, not ever.
Not ever.
That's great conversations. So
Aren't you the one talking about? Oh, she didn't do it live though. I was going to say, aren't you the one talking over there with your two burnt thumbs?
yeah, exactly. Malcolm says howdy.
Hi, Malcolm. All right, and then we need the top of the water, and then we need the island, and then we need the trees that may or may not look like marijuana. Certainly don't look like palm trees. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen palm trees. I mean, I've seen the palm trees around here, but they're not really palm trees. Not like the big palm trees on the island life. And then I'm just going to pencil in some birds there. And then I will use the drawing as a reference to guide me. That'll put everything on the paper. And then I will just use the drawing as a reference to guide me. Now, what really makes that funny is I could have just taken my paper and scribbled on the top of it, and it would have transferred that because my carbon paper was upside down. I could have transferred that onto the drawing also, onto the paper also. So when you're doing this, the matte side goes up towards your paper. The dark, shiny side goes down towards your watercolor.
All worked out.
Ah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. She said, at least I did not burn them in front of a live audience. Right? So, full disclosure, I'm a member of Mensa. I've been a member of Mensa since I was a teenager. And it's one of the things I'm very proud of. I brag about it occasionally. Mostly because I test well, not because I'm smart, just because I test well. But one day I had a Band-Aid on my thumb, Ivy. I had a Band-Aid on my thumb, and the Band-Aid had frayed, and there were little strings hanging down off the Band-Aid. And what do you do to your clothes when your clothes have frayed strings on them? You take a lighter and you burn them off. And I thought, well, I'll just burn that off. It'll burn off real quick, and I can stop it. No, the thing went on my thumb, and I burned my thumb really badly. And when I went in the house, sucking on my thumb, trying to run cold water over it, and doing all that kind of stuff, my daughter looks up at me. My beautiful daughter, who has always been a daddy's girl and who's always been my favorite up until this moment, looks up at me and says, were you holding your Mensa card while you did it? Ah. Mm. All right. So we'll use, like I said, we'll use the coloring sheet as a guide, and we'll just get started making a mess here, because I really want it more painterly than realism anyway. Hi, Sophia. Sophia likes my drawing. She's on the vertical. Did I miss anybody on the horizontal?
I don't believe so.
Did I say hi to Malcolm? I don't remember if I said hi to Malcolm or not.
You did?
Okay. And Joe, I said hi to Joe.
Yes. I'm going to have to change computers.
All right. Now, there are no shadows to speak of on our drawing, so we get to make this up as we go along, which is fine with me, because this is, without a doubt, my favorite part of the whole process. This is the part that gives the whole thing life. This is the part that turns it from a line drawing into a dimensional drawing. And gives the whole thing depth and shape. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. All right. I think that if I spend too much time on this, I will overdo it. Because it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all to overdo it. Can't talk. Arting. All right. That is a good place to stop on that, and we'll dry it real quick. How are we doing on time? Oh, good Lord. We're already 30 minutes in. Goodness gracious. Hopefully the dryer works. Hey, Joe, in the late 90s, I was the local secretary, which is what they call the president of the chapter. I was the LOCSEC of the Oklahoma City branch. And I used to try to arrange all the time. I used to try to arrange intramural things between the Oklahoma City branch and the Tulsa branch. What? How long ago was your brother there? Dun, 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 dun.
He moved around 20 years ago.
So yeah, that's about the time I was the LOCSEC. It would have been it would have been 2000, from 2000 to, what was it, 2000 to 2004, I think, was when I was the LOCSEC there. LOCSEC is a trick people play. Officers in a club, I don't care what club it is, officers in a club is a joke people play on newcomers. They make the newcomers feel special. Oh, you're super special. We just look at you. You're so enthusiastic and organized, and you would be a great club president. And they make you the club president because nobody else wants to do it. That is a joke that they play on the newcomers. I learned that rather quickly. They didn't want me because I was special. They wanted me because I was willing. Actually, you know what? That's supposed to be a turtle back there in the background. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm not really paying attention to lines, if you can't tell. I'm not really paying attention to color theory. Right now I'm just putting some color down where I think it would look good. I did the yellow first because I know otherwise Ivy gets nervous. She says, yes. Yes, I do. Joe says it's been about that long since he spoke to him, so probably. Well, I was going to say ask him if he knows me, but if you're not on speaking terms, by all means, don't start speaking to him for me, because you're a swell guy. If you're not on speaking terms with him, then there must be a reason. Need some dark blue. I don't think I have. I may have to go to my morning set of paints to get some really dark blue here. I've got that Prussian blue in my morning set, but my morning set doesn't have any vibrant colors. They're all muted on purpose, so that if I choose the wrong color, it won't completely disrupt the flow of everything else I'm doing. Dun, 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 dun. If you can't tell, I don't have a plan. I am really just going around the page, feeling my way around, trying to figure out what I want to do next. What colors I feel will go well next to each other. What colors I can get away with that will make it look like what I think it should look like. If you can't tell, I don't have a plan.
Ivy says plans are overrated.
You know, again, the whole point of this show is to have some fun and art with my besties. The point of this show is not to create masterpieces for the Louvre. We're trying to have a good time. I might learn something about how my paints work, you know? And that would be good for me. So that is where my focus is. Let me dry that though, so that I can hit the rest of that with some blues. And how come nobody told me my Christmas music wasn't playing? Did nobody notice that my Christmas music wasn't playing? How sad is that? Is my microphone on? Did I lose your mom? Hello? Am I muted? Oh no, I've lost my mom. Me mom.
Yes, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted
And
to...
I'm sorry.
Nope. It's okay. I was just making sure that I didn't inadvertently turn everything on.
No.
Because that's been known to happen.
Yes, I did know that. No, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's been known to happen. I think it happened. What is this? A couple of mornings ago, my whole stream just wobbled out. And I really hate when that happens because, you know, I'm here to have a good time with my besties, not fight with technical issues. Sometimes technical issues are all you get. That's okay. You'll have that sometimes. What was it? What was the lesson in Batman? Why do we fall down? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. That's the whole point of doing art, right? Is learning how to solve problems on the fly. That's what
That's what art teaches.
That's right. That's what the schools forget when they say we're going to cancel art class. The schools forget what they're actually canceling is the education that teaches kids how to solve problems in real time. Because when you accidentally put paint in the wrong place, you have to have a way to figure out. You have to be able to use your creativity to figure out a way around it. And what that translates into in the real world is when the comet is on its way and you have 3 working Saturn V rockets and a bunch of nukes you don't want the world to own anymore. How do you get the nukes to the comet to break the comet up with the Saturn V rockets, with the 3 Saturn V rockets that you have? And how do you make the people stop arguing over it and get her done? That's the stuff that art teaches you how to figure out, to work your way past those issues. I need a different shade of blue. Let me get my handy dandy paper towel over here and clear me out a spot on this other palette so I don't inadvertently pick up some Payne's Gray. And let's get a different shade of blue. Let's go with the cobalt blue across the sky. It may be the same.
Yes.
It may be the same blue.
I said you called Bruce Willis and his hot shot crew to handle it.
Somebody picked right up on which movie I was talking about too. But it's either Armageddon or Deep Impact. It's the same plot for both movies. You either get Bruce Willis to do it or you get Frodo. Frodo Baggins.
Joe must be a connoisseur of movies also.
I think Joe's just one of those people that's like us. He's just into everything. Ivy's like that. Actually, I think just about everybody who watches this show on a regular basis are those exact kinds of people. They're just the kind of people that are just into everything.
Morgan Freeman, Elijah Wood.
No, Frodo. I said Frodo.
Ivy says Renaissance man.
Yeah, I think that about most of the people that I'm friends with. The reason I'm friends with them is because we have a shared passion for learning strange and unusual things, and I guarantee most of us would have been right there next to Michelangelo and Leonardo and the rest of the turtles, digging up corpses to learn how to draw muscles.
Joe says Renaissance man was Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
One of his favorite movies as a kid.
Absolutely. When he's a motivational speaker in the Army, right? It's a good movie.
Joe says he's just got a brain full of useless knowledge.
I have that.
No purpose in day-to-day life.
Yeah, I have that exact same problem. I feel your pain, buddy.
But that gets you to why Ivy would rather call her personal encyclopedias.
I feel your pain. Okay. Now then, let's figure out how to bring some.
There's Whiskey Creek.
Hey, Whiskey Creek. Let's figure out how to bring some of that bird back out. I need a stiff brush. Like this one. Or I can just go around the rest of the painting with more blue. And maybe a touch of vermilion. Let's see what happens if we do that. Add some warmth. Add some warmth to this up top. Remember a while ago when I said I was switching to the smaller brushes? I probably should have stuck with that. Let me dry this real quick. Dance, Pater boy, dance. My button works on the morning side, but it doesn't work on the evening side. I'll have to fix that. I will have to fix that. Can't talk, Harding.
Whiskey says it's looking great there.
Thank you. Now then. Now let's move to a smaller brush.
Okay, Whiskey has to leave.
Okay, Whiskey, thanks for stopping by, man. Keep the trains running on time.
Heidi wants to know where Pamela and Rick are, and I think they're still catching up.
Yep. Rick stopped in briefly this morning to let us know Pamela was kind of down after this past weekend. So hopefully she gets to feeling better. They may just be watching.
Yeah. I think he's been really busy at the shop. If I were to guess, it's prom season and graduation, and everybody has to have their hair done.
Yeah. That's probably very accurate. That's probably very accurate. Dun, dun, dun. Essence of fish. I'm about done with this one. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna call it, because I could keep going, especially with the greens and the purples. Just to add color around the edges, just to give it some vibrancy. But it would be so easy to overwork this. And make it practically unrecognizable. So I think I'm going to stop there. Dun, dun, dun.
It looks really nice.
Thank you. Which side is on top? The top one is on top, right? Done. Dun, 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 dun. So what else is going on? What else is exciting? School year is almost up, so my family is going to be able to relax before long. That's exciting. The scouting year is almost over. My son's probably going to have his Eagle Scout by the end of summer. That's exciting. My daughter has a job prospect at a gallery. That's exciting. Let's see, do I need the knife? I should probably do that with the knife so that I don't disturb the underpaper pages. Okay, so there is the first watercolor sea turtle for the evening. Now what we'll do now is we'll take a little break, and you can see it's here. You can see it because I used my, well, if you weren't here earlier, I used my watercolor transfer paper upside down, so we can actually see the here how it compares to the original drawing, which is a reverse of the original drawing, which is probably a reverse of that original drawing. So that's that one. We'll set that one aside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little break, and we're going to everybody go get more coffee. Everybody get set up for the next page. We're going to come back. We'll do what's on your easel, and then we'll do an illustrative sea turtle. So we'll take a little break. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see people are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people go. People are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. Raindrops are falling on my head, just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job, those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. All you need is your own imagination, so use it, that's what it's for, that's what it's for. Go inside, all you find is inspiration. Your dreams will open the door, open up your... It makes no difference if you're black or white, if you're a boy or a girl. If the music's pumping, it will give you new life. You're a superstar, yes, that's what you are, you know it. Come on, Vogue. Let your body move to the music. Hey, 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 come on, Vogue. Let your body go with the flow. You know you can do it. I got me a lover down in New Orleans, kept me warm in the winter, left me frozen in the spring. Why am I? How the seasons go by. I like to get high and I love to get low, so the hearts keep breaking and the heads just roll. Whoa. So the story goes, 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. I'm climbing over mountains and I'm sailing overseas. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never wanna leave. My exes and the uh-ohs, they haunt me like a ghost. They want me to make them my own. They won't let go. X's and O's. When Johnny finished, the devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat. He laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Just come on back, devil, if you ever want to try again. I done told you once, you son of a gun, I'm the best there's ever been." He played Fire in the Mountain, run, boys, run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken and bread back, peanut dough. Granny does talk about no child, no. I hope you know that this has nothing to do with you. It's personal, myself and I. We've got some straightening out to do, and I'm gonna miss you like a child misses that blanket, but I've got to get a move on with my life. It's time to be a big girl now, and big girls don't cry.
Come back. There we go. It didn't come back when I clicked to come back. I needed to come back when I clicked to come back.
Yes, makes your heart skip.
I know, it makes my heart skip a beat or two when it doesn't come back when I click to come back. Okay, so now we're going to do a little a little thing that I like to call "What's on your easel." What's on your easel? What's on your easel? What's on your easel today? So, first off, the screen is going to go black for just a second while I fire this up. But I could have done all of this during the break. That would have been an efficient use of time. So we're not. We just don't do that here. So let's just see here. Browser refresh. There we go. So let's start with Ivy sent in some easels. Ivy, I'm going to start with this one because this is what she's been working on in her coloring book. You did this Tuesday, right? And that looks like watercolor. Have you been playing with the watercolors, young lady? Oh my goodness. An under the sea mermaid hugging a conch. Hugging a conch with some watercolors. Look at her little fishies. And her turtle. There's a turtle right there. I think you did this Tuesday, right? Yeah, she said yes. And then tonight, while she's watching me, she is coloring this little Zentangled turtle here. And then, because we're all curious, she sent us pictures of the cats. That's the mama cat, right? The black cat's the mama cat. Because in the next email, she sends pictures of the terrorists. The little razor sharp things with razor sharp teeth. They clutch onto everything and run through your house. So there was a kitty sighting, and Ivy captured it for us. So I think that's all anybody sent me on easels. I don't think Pamela was supposed to start doing frogs. I don't think she's been up for it. Hopefully she'll start feeling better soon, and she'll do some frogs. And she was going to do a frog a day, and we'll see if hopefully she gets back to it before long. So that's what was sent in to me. I've been working on coloring sheets, and what I did was I went back to my oldest image that I had, where I had 9 fun facts, and I just started putting coloring sheets together. So we've got a gorilla, we got Pocahontas. I don't know if my fingers are dry enough to turn through all the pages. A lab mouse, a spider, jumping spider. But I mean, we just have page after page after page of coloring sheets. And I'm not very good at monetizing this because I don't really want to charge you for these. So what I have done with all of these is, or what I am in the process of doing with all of these, tulips, orangutan, armadillo, what I'm in the process of doing with these things is I have been uploading them to 2 places. I have been uploading them to my Substack. I started a Substack where you can subscribe to me over on Substack, and it will send you an email, and you can get it daily or you can get it weekly, but it will send you today's drawing, today's coloring sheet. You get a new coloring sheet every day. I have 164 previously done coloring sheets that I'm trying to get set up, and then of course I create a new one every day. So I have all of these coloring sheets, and I'm going to give them away. All you have to do is subscribe to the email address, subscribe to the Substack, and it's just Jonathan Manning, at Jonathan Manning, no space, on Substack. If you want to find me over there, and just subscribe to the feed, and it will send you the it will send you the daily or weekly. You can set the preferences up. It'll set the daily or weekly email frequency up for you. So you can either get 7 a week or you can get 1 a day, however you want to do it. Also, the other thing that I have done is I've set up what's called a Ko-fi account. I don't know if it's Ko-fi or Ko-fi, but I set one of those up where you can get a membership there, and you can pay me $5 a month, and it will give you access to all of them. And you can just log in and download. You can just log in and download all of them at one time if you want to. And if you do so, you're welcome to just log in and download everything you want to. What I intend to put over here are the PDFs with the 9 fun facts and everything, so that you can have the coloring sheet and the 9 fun facts. And then I also, for the member side, I intend to put the coloring books together with the 9 fun facts and the coloring pages together, so that you've got the 9 fun facts on one side and the coloring page on the other side. And then when you turn the page, that way if any colors bleed through, they're bleeding through on the 9 fun facts, not on the next picture. So I'll set those up as a PDF you can download, an electronic PDF you can download, and then I'll also upload them to Amazon. If you're a member for $5 a month, you can download them, be a new coloring book about every 60 days or so. Or you can just go to Amazon and buy one for $10, which works out to the same amount of money. I'm not trying to make a fortune off of this. I'm just trying to, 1, cover my costs, and 2, get the coloring sheets out so people can use them. But that's what's been on my easel. I really haven't done anything else except last Friday. Was that last Friday, or did I miss last Friday? I may have missed last Friday. May have been Friday before last when I did the kittens with Ivy.
It was Friday before last.
It was Friday before last.
Last Friday was the end of the month.
Yeah, last Friday was the end of the month. So last Friday, while Ivy was getting her colored pencils out, I was watercoloring some kittens that she had lost. So yeah, I missed last Friday, and I'm sorry about that. It's never my intention to miss you on Fridays.
Ivy doesn't know what Substack is.
Substack is like Discord, except it's mostly for written stuff. It's what WordPress was before. It's what Blogger was before Blogger became whatever Blogger is now. It's just a place to go post your stuff. I take you through my Substack and show you how it works, but I'm afraid that some of the stuff that I'm subscribed to on Substack may be offensive to the more sensible people on the stream, like my mother. So I don't really want to expose everybody to what I'm subscribed to on Substack. But rest assured, you know what? It's mostly Jake Stanley and some pinups. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not like people don't know that I subscribe to pinups. But if I go, Substack is just, it's like here's Jake Parker writing an article. Here's somebody painting a Sweetums painting. I'm going to try and go through it quickly. Mostly I follow other artists, pinup artists and ink artists. So that's what I follow mostly on Substack. But it's like Reddit, Discord. It's like any of those other social media sites. But what Substack comes with that the others don't is the ability to subscribe to a newsletter. Everybody you subscribe to, you have the ability to have that person's feed delivered to your inbox either on a daily or weekly, or I think monthly. I think you have the option to go daily, weekly, or monthly on their feed. And I want that separate from my website, because of the stuff that I put on my website is more geared towards the 9 fun facts and talking about the animals and stuff. And then on the Substack, that's going to be a daily thing for the coloring sheets. So that's what's been going on in my world. That's what's been going on in your world. If you'd like to be a part of what's on your easel, simply send an email to blade@artisticbiker.com with this easel in the subject line, and that way we can use your works to inspire other people to do stuff, because that's all this show is about, is giving people permission to express their creativity, good or bad. I don't care. That's not what we're here for. We're here to celebrate everybody's efforts. And so if you're drawing, painting, writing poetry, dancing, making love, whatever it is you're doing, send me pictures of it. I may not share all the pictures, but I certainly want to see them. blade@artisticbiker.com with subject line easel, and we will use your creativity to inspire others. So that said, we're going to move on to the illustrative part of our show, where I break out the other sketchbook, and pull up the reference photo that I have downloaded for this, and we do a different turtle. Dun, 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 download. I like this one. So I do. So that's the one I'm going to do. That's the toy. That's the tweedle I like. That's the tweedle I'm going to do. All right. Now, this is different. We can take this brush and we can put it, well, you know what? Let's keep the brushes out. Who knows? We may need the brushes, but we certainly need the fountain pens. You know what we should have put on What's on Your Easel? We should have put your bird feeder up.
Oh, yeah, we should have.
My mom and dad got a bird feeder with a camera inside it, so that when the birds show up to feed, they can commune with the birds. And it's funny, what is his name? Christopher Walken. There's a meme going around of Christopher Walken standing with his pants pulled up high over his waist, and the caption says, "One day you're young and full of energy and living your life, and the next day you're standing in your backyard like this, looking at your bird, staring at your bird feeder." And the day I posted that is the day my mom and dad bought this bird feeder from Sam's Club. Yeah, I think it was Sam's Club. I'm not sure, but the day I shared that on Facebook is the day my mom and dad bought a bird feeder on with a camera in the back of it. So not only are they sitting in the backyard watching the bird feeder, like Christopher Walken in that scene, they are also sitting in their front room with their phone pulled up. Look at that! Look at that! Or they've got it broadcast up on their television, so they can see it. And my dad wants to set his YouTube channel up to broadcast 24/7, so he can broadcast his bird feeder out to everybody in the world, and just have his bird feeder up 24/7. And I think, you know what, Dad, that's exciting. I think you'll have a really good time with that, because there are a lot of people in the world that will sit there and tell you exactly what kind of bird that is. And there are people who will put that on at their desk at work and pretend that they are not at a desk at work. Just like we do. Right, currently we're watching some eagles on the nest. And that's kind of wise, because it gives you the opportunity to pretend like you are not bound by whatever it is your responsibilities are. You are an eagle watcher. You are an eagle in the eagle nest. You are a participant in the raising of these eaglets. And so I think that's really fun. But it was hilarious, because seriously, I no sooner posted that than my mom posted, "Look at what my husband brought home."
It's exciting. It's fun.
It is exciting and fun. One day you're young, and one day you're young and full of energy and
That's right.
living your life, and the next day you're standing in your yard watching your bird feeder like this.
Anyway,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just funny that the timing worked out that way. I'm not making fun of you. I don't want you to be offended. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing about you. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, I was busy laughing at you. What did you say about a hummingbird?
I said, then you and I were talking the other morning, and there was a hummingbird flew by my flowers and landed on my flowers.
Yep.
My first run of the season. So, you know, little things make you happy when you're old.
You know, you don't have to be old for that one. Everybody loves hummingbirds.
Yeah, you're busy laughing at me. I'll
Yeah.
stop that.
Bill Flowers and Jennifer and his lovely bride Jennifer Rowland came and visited us in Oklahoma years ago, and it was their first time to the Americas, and they had never seen a hummingbird. They were here to try to see a rattlesnake, and I showed him his first rattlesnake, but it wasn't very big. He had to go to Colorado to run around with a true herpetologist to see a larger rattlesnake. But we went to the Wichita Mountains in Oklahoma, and while we were there, where we were camped, there was a house where you bought your permits. There was a ranger house where one of the ranger families lived, and that's where you bought your permits. And they had a hummingbird feeder outside, and she had never seen a hummingbird. Neither one of them had ever seen a hummingbird before in their lives. And she sat down in the chair next to the hummingbird feeder and was suddenly surrounded by hummingbirds. And it was just a beautiful scene to see. She had the most lovely smile on her face, to have all these hummingbirds zipping around her all the time, because there's nothing like that in Australia. Everything like that in Australia is trying to kill you. So there's just nothing like that there for them. And little things like that may not be able to kill you, but it's not because they don't want to. But she just had the most beautiful, I'll never forget, she just had the most beautiful smile on her face as she was surrounded by these hummingbirds. And so it's exciting. I do not at all fault you for being excited about your hummingbirds in your backyard. Excuse me, Mr. Turtle. Mr. Turtle was my dad. For those of you that have seen Finding Nemo. But I was really blessed to be part of that memory for her, and I'm glad we were able to help them share in that. They helped us. They did a presentation for the local elementary school. We took them around to the local elementary school, and not only did they do the presentation for the local elementary school, but the local elementary school got a grant from the state for an in-kind donation. Anytime somebody does something like that, where they do a presentation for the school, the state matches the in-kind donation, and so they got the school was given like a $2,500 grant in kind, because Bill and Jennifer were there to give presentations about reptiles and Australian life. And so not only did they go away having I hope, a great experience, but they were a real boon to the community.
Joe has to leave.
Joe, I'm glad you stopped by, my friend. Hopefully we can see you for a few minutes in the morning. I appreciate you stopping in. It's always a pleasure to visit with you.
Oh, it's Joe's birthday. He kept it to himself.
Oh, Joe, how are we supposed to celebrate your birthday if you don't tell us? We can't wish you a happy birthday if you don't say anything. We would have sang. Well, I would have sang. I would have sang.
Today, and they know it, but won't respect it. They had family drop by unexpectedly.
Everybody would sing. I would sing. Everybody else would just type it. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. You say it's your birthday. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's my birthday too, yeah. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Now it's your birthday. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. We gotta have a good time. Anyway, Joe, thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good day. Have a happy birthday. Sorry we missed out on the celebration with you.
What he said was, everyone have a good rest of your night. I have to get off. Stupid family showed up at birthday crap. I don't think he's pleased. Anyway.
I think he was.
And your dad.
What'd you said?
Your dad said your oldest son and I handled a 5-foot rifle at Apache.
Yes, they did.
Hottest day of the year.
Yes. I remember getting very sick over that too.
Yes, he was. That was the beginning, probably.
That was long ago.
Long ago and far away.
That was long ago. Okay. What do we have in the background over here? Fish. Essence of fish. Drawing some essence of fish here. All right. Now we can do away with the pencil marks. Ivy said that she told him happy birthday shortly after midnight. But I didn't know it was his birthday. Put it on the calendar. And then if it comes up again next year, if we're all still here next year, of course it won't be on a It won't be on a Thursday next year. It'll have to be on the morning show.
There will be a what?
It won't be a Thursday next year, so it'll have to be the morning show.
Yes. I'll put it on the calendar.
All right. Oh. That about wore me out. That took a lot of my energy right there. But you know what happens now?
Your favorite part.
This is my favorite part.
Yay.
This is my favorite part of the whole process. I need some more Payne's Gray over here. I'm about out of Payne's Gray. I may have to make some Payne's Gray. Fortunately, I know how to do that. So, let's start with this. This is my favorite part. If I've never told you before, you should know that this is my favorite part of the whole process. This is the part that turns the whole thing from a set of lines on the page to a three-dimensional object. My absolute favorite part of the whole process. Can you hear how loud? Can you hear the radio in the car behind me? I feel like you can hear it.
You're in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, your car?
My kids are outside in my car jamming on the radio.
Oh.
And I can hear it through the garage, and I'm afraid you can hear it over the microphone. And darn kids. If it's too loud, you're too old. Isn't that how that works? If it's too loud, you're too old.
That's right. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay. Now let's see here. I'm just going to use the burnt umber here to do the essence of fish in the background.
They're good friends.
They are. They're orneries and all get out.
Oh, absolutely.
But I can just hear them out there singing at the top of their lungs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can hear them. Honestly, I'm surprised you can't hear them.
You have to tell them I did.
Yeah, everybody pretend like you could hear them. I don't know what the song was, but everybody pretend like you could hear them. Because they'll be in here in just a minute telling me about all the stuff they bought. So everybody pretend like you heard them. Here they come. You know, we could hear you singing on the microphone. People, could we hear them singing outside?
Absolutely.
Not real.
Yes, we can.
I love you, kiddo.
I love you too.
We heard you singing outside on the microphone.
My bad.
You were singing?
Yeah.
What song?
Meant to be ordered in the heaven. I'm sorry.
See, absolutely, totally off key.
Wow!
That's funny.
And then time to concert.
Let me dry this real quick so we can come back with the blues. Actually, before we do the blues, I need to go over that turtle with some yellow ochre. Not too much. Not too much. Just enough, because he's not white everywhere. It's okay if you paint outside the lines, Ivy. I heard Ivy say that while she was watercoloring the other day. Got to fix that button. What were you saying, Mom?
I don't think it's posting her finished work.
Oh, okay. We're going to do this in a couple of coats.
Is she gonna bake something?
Who?
Your daughter.
I hope so.
I thought I needed to go through the screen and get those banana bread cinnamon rolls from your oldest daughter.
Those looked amazing.
Didn't they?
Oh my
I've never
goodness.
had banana bread cinnamon rolls.
She said they were the best she's ever made, too. They looked amazing. They couldn't really hear you, kiddo. I was just giving you guys a hard time.
I know.
Make sure your sister knows.
We'll make her.
Okay.
Oh, but it's just the stairs.
Nah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
What? You say? It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
That's a bright dark blue.
Isn't it lovely?
Yep.
Isn't she lovely? Sounds like my wife might be home too. All right. Now we can come back in. With just a little bit darker right here. Say we can come back in with just a little bit darker right there. It doesn't appear that the brush wants to pick up any paint. Just a little bit darker right there. We want it just a little bit darker right there. Just a little bit darker right there.
Oh, there's Pamela.
What is it? Hey, there's Pamela. Yeah, we were worried about you. Rick stopped in this morning and said that you were kind of down a little bit, so we were kind of worried about you. I'm glad you stopped in. All right. Let's dry that, and then I can ink it. One thing that's terribly important is it's way easier to preserve whites than it is to reclaim whites when you're watercoloring. Once you paint over an area, it's a whole lot harder to reclaim the white. You either have to come back with a with a gouache or an acrylic to reclaim the white, or you have to do something a little destructive, which is what I'm about to do right now, and I may still end up with gouache or acrylic. We'll see how well this works. But we've had some pretty good luck with this. So this may work just fine. I'd rather not come back with white or acrylic. I'd rather not come back with gouache or acrylic because I really don't want it white. I just want it lighter than everything around it. My battery may be dying. Yeah, I really just want it lighter than everything around it. I think my battery's dying. But I think that's going to work.
Maybe increase the electric bracers or next best option. But make sure your paper's sticking on.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have thick paper for that. Because if you're doing it with typing paper, you just carved a hole in your paper.
Typing paper.
Yeah, I guess they
Old term.
I guess they call it printer paper now.
I know, but I knew what you meant.
It's not even copy paper anymore.
No, I don't know what you call white paper. A piece of white paper, I don't know.
It's printer paper. Everybody knows it as printer paper now.
It's typing paper to me.
It'll always be typing paper to me. Just like
they don't even type anymore, they keyboard.
Just like when I say I'm going to Xerox something.
Exactly.
Or when I say I'm going to tape something. I'm going to tape a show. You don't tape shows anymore. You record shows.
I know, Ivy. Ivy says she feels old.
Sometimes when I'm one of the oldest people in my office, and when I hear people talking, sometimes I can feel my skin drying up and peeling off of me. Well, for instance, they were talking about Planet of the Apes today, and we were 10 minutes into the conversation before I realized they were talking about Mark Wahlberg, and they had never even seen a Charlton Heston version. Didn't even know it existed. And I could, like I said, I could feel the skin drying and peeling off of my body. Like I was turning to dust in front of people as we sat there. So yeah, it's printer paper now, but it's still typing paper to me. All right. There we go. There we go. But I do feel like the back of that turtle should be... I feel like it should have more of this on it. There we go. There, I can take that. He said he was done. Remember when he said he was done and he wasn't going to fuss with it anymore? He lied. Blade, man, know when to quit. It's over. Put the paints down. Go home. The alarm has sounded. The 10 minutes are up. The train has passed. Nope. He said nope. All right, now I'm done. Now I'm calling it. So there is my sea turtle. So there is that sea turtle. And where did the other sea turtle go? There is that sea turtle side by side. Of course, if you're on the vertical, you have to do it this way. There's that sea turtle and that sea turtle. For the vertical, there's that sea turtle and that sea turtle. And then for the horizontal, we can do it side by side. So that's what I did tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I do look forward to this. I cannot tell you how much I look forward to this every week and every morning. I do this every week where I just get together with my besties and we just talk about what's going on in the world, and we draw and we paint whatever I feel like drawing and painting that night. Sometimes, why is the camera switching now? It didn't want to switch when I wanted it to switch. Why is it switching now? In the mornings, though, we do a different show. It's the 9 Fun Facts. It's what the coloring sheets are based off of. And tomorrow morning, we are going to do, make sure I have the right egg. Yeah, tomorrow morning, we're doing a taipan snack. So we're going to do that at 5:30 a.m. Texas time. We'll talk about the inland taipan snakes and the coastal taipan snakes of Australia, and we'll talk about how the inland is probably the most toxic snake in the world, but there's no documented event of them ever having killed a person in the wild. They have died in the lab, but not in the wild. We'll talk about all that tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Texas time, so you may want to set your notification bell for that, and you're going to want to set your notification bell so you don't miss this next week. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because when they see me dancing, I will know that the lag has caught up with the stream, and that will mean that I won't get cut off mid-sentence. It gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical. It gives everybody in the chat a chance to say hello and goodbye to each other and ask any questions if they have any questions of each other. But the most important thing is that I don't get cut